Guys awake? I'm glad that you guys found the old Bernie channel. Yeah, there's been some changes. Yes, I will explain. No, the channel didn't get shut down. Just isn't allowed to live stream anymore over there on PRTV. And I have absolutely no indication as to why. And I'm not going to get into it too much because I've been through this before. You guys, we've been through this before. Good morning. That cover photo is a little more exciting. That's some good news. Trying to adjust the volume here. I seem to be rather loud this morning. That cover photo is a coal mine that's shutting down in Nevada, courtesy of Nevada Power there. It's shutting down because the indigenous in the area and environmentalists, activists have been fighting to shut it down, and there is a solar power plant that has replaced it that's also generating power for Los Angeles, I believe, part of the same system. And this is a coal plant that's getting shut down. So, sorry about those jobs, but go get new ones in renewable energy, and that's always a good thing when that happens. It's a big cheer out there. So that's part of ground game environment. And while Trump is continues to talk about bringing coal jobs back, I don't know where he's going to do it, really. And that even the miners that have the jobs now would rather be doing something else, according to the miners, right? It's not like they love the mining. Yeah, I know. I don't know who. So, good morning, everybody. Brahm and Manic DBD, and we got Markus with us today. He's hanging out, and Catherine W. and Juliet Nickel. I have no idea who had wrenches, honestly. So speak up, and we'll get you re-wrenched. And yeah, absolutely. Well, it's so I don't know what the hell happened with the channel, and it's whatever. Maybe I'll get that back. Maybe I won't. Maybe they'll send me a message. Usually when it's something like this, I violated some term of service that has nothing to do with copyright. So it could be that I screamed Nazi a whole bunch of times. It could be that they heard me in one of my rants about them, calling them fucktards, and so they decided to just can my live streaming. They're vindictive often. The fact that I even got their attention, though, is kind of neat. It's like we smacked the dragon enough to make them come over and look, so... whatever. Buffering already, guys? Really? Interesting. John, you have 2 or 3 episodes to catch up on now. Are they still up? Yeah. And all the episodes are still there. You can still access all that stuff, and I can still push videos up to the channel. I just can't live stream from the channel, so we'll be live streaming from this channel, which was the goal anyway, is kind of to go back to this channel. So there's like 13,000 subscribers, and I hope they don't all run away. Now that we're back here, I hope you stick around for the better content that we'll be providing here. It was time to utilize this resource, right? Anyway, before we go on into other stuff, let's say good morning to Markus. Good morning, Markus. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Good morning, John, and good Friday morning, America.
I don't know. Right now, I haven't heard the latest update, but I know that Merkel and 45 are meeting, and they don't like each other. So it should be a very, very frosty meeting. It looks cold in D.C. It's, yeah.
I don't know if Trump doesn't like Merkel, but I know that Merkel doesn't like Trump.
Yeah, definitely. I know he doesn't. She's a woman, and there's no way he likes her. He treats women like crap. So just right there, we already have that level. And Merkel is an intelligent woman, so he's probably very intimidated by that. And, he'll act like a 5-year-old. It'll be interesting to see. And I reference this all the time because the big difference between W and Trump is really the difference between benign and malignant. Right? Not that W wasn't a war criminal in his own right, but I really think he was ignorant mostly of most of those things, right? And thought he was doing something good and okay. And there's a famous scene where he's meeting with Merkel. They're at a dinner or something, and he's just being W. And he gets behind her and starts rubbing her shoulders, and she's like, "My God, get Forrest Gump away from me now." And it's just like she's okay, you know. She's just like, whatever. I'm German. I'll just handle it. And that's W. Annoying, like totally does things not right. But Trump is abhorrent. He's malignant. He's a cancer. He's actually doing things that are horrific himself, personally, not just ordering them to be done. It's kind of a, I don't know, just a difference. Remember, in today's flipped world, W is sounds reasonable. it's the scary thing. Good morning, Bev. Good morning, everybody. Melissa, I love living in a small town. UPS hasn't been able to deliver all week. You knocked down with snow? What, Catherine? Density? What did I miss up here in the conversation? Yep, you got, okay, there you go. You got your wrench back. Anyway, moving on. Later today on this channel, we're going to do a broadcast from Iowa. Scott Galindez has the LiveView solo unit. It is still functional. Thank you so much, Claudia. And we will be running that today. It looks like it's going to start at 2:45 Pacific, 4:45 Central. And so they're starting a bit early. And I'm thinking I'm going to go live around 2:30 Pacific and just talk for a little bit. We've got a video to run about Joni Ernst. She is the pig squealing, ball castrating Republican representative who is going to be met with some interesting and angry Iowans who are there to tell her to vote against the repeal of Obamacare, since the Ryan Care plan, or Trump Ryan Care Don't Care plan, I don't know what you want to call it, the pile of shit that they've offered is wholly unacceptable and far worse than what we already have. Joni is a conservative Republican, but a lot of Republicans are not in favor of this current, and they've said it's not going to pass the Senate. And we don't really need that many Republicans to fall on the side of reason here. So we'll see if we can't get Joni to think about wanting to keep her job and bending to the will of the people. This town hall, I guess it's at Drake University. It holds a good number of seats, so it should be fun. And I'm not expecting Scott to be able to do any interviews live. He's not sure what's going to happen there. So, if he can, he'll catch interviews later, and we'll post those and talk about them in later shows. Yeah. But what do you is there a sense, Markus? Is there a sense in Germany over there of the relationship between Merkel and 45, or everybody that you know in Germany hate him, or is there anybody saying,
The last polls showed that 92% of the Germans dislike 45, and
wow.
I only was wondering who the hell are the other remaining percents.
Well, that has to be that. What?
I never met anyone in Germany who I talked to who was in favor of 45.
Wow. Well, I mean, you have
anyway.
You've got that right group, that really far right group. Maybe that's 8%. I don't know.
Yes. The AfD. Yes, they love Trump. Of course they do. They are idiots. And, this is yes. It is like it is, And yes, this is why they love Trump.
That's
serious.
Did you see Melissa's comment? Your 92% is actually more than the U.S. So he's not doing too well in Germany. That's good.
Her political advisors, and she by nature is carefully, and she won't provoke him, but she will make clear what her important points and matters are, and that she won't move away from this. And we will see how it goes, and we will see how 45 will behave in front of her. And we are very excited to see this here in Germany. What's going on now?
Yes, I love it. You have all of our support. Hate him as much as you can, please. and sorry if we end up going to war with North Korea and it somehow affects you adversely, because I imagine it will. And looks like that's where we're headed. But, all right, moving on. So Trump budget is shit, and we have some links. I mean, that's really, I'm not stating anything, We know this. But there's a nice Bloomberg link here that, let me get this cropped out for everybody. These 80 programs would lose federal funding under Trump's proposed budget. And what I like about this isn't the fact that this is horrible, right? Here's the giant amount of money we're taking away from federal programs that we really like, and people-centered programs, Meals on Wheels, because that's killing us at $3 million. It costs the same amount of money to send 45 golfing for the weekend as it does to deal with Meals on Wheels. I don't know what that $3 million is. What, a week, a year for Meals on? Either way, it's a tiny piss amount of money. That's a couple wheels on a tank for the military. And he wants to kill that program. I want to use this graph when we take over government as a reversal chart, that we want to take this much out of the defense to start with and move it back into these programs. And then we need to slash defense again this much and put it back into these programs. It's just ridiculous what he wants to do. I don't think there's been another totalitarian government with this size of a penis extension ever. It's just really a testament to our idiocy that we would spend so much money on these things and not on our people, that we would let it get to this point. Yeah. On the other side of the equation, Bernie Sanders, I'm not even going to run that video. There's also the video of the moron Mulvaney or whatever his name is saying that, it's the most compassionate thing we can do because Meals on Wheels really isn't, showing results. It'll be interesting to see what results. I know the states are going to pick up the slack on this. And as the federal government continues to cut funding for things that the states need and want, the states need to stop sending money to the federal government, and that's what we need to just pass laws in our states that say, fuck you. You're not helping us, we're not helping you. Fuck you. And it can be done. It can be done. Opposite end of the scale, Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the U.S. Could it be simply because he's not full of shit? Could it be that he's like the only politician at the moment that seems to have integrity? That he's talked about the same things for his whole fucking life? Said the same things about it for his whole fucking life? We have Jesus. The second coming happened, everybody. He's walking around right now, except he's Jewish. His name's Bernie. The numbers on this are hilarious. I'm gonna let. I needed a good laugh. I can't even go off on this. Everything that happened this morning and having to move things all over, I'm like. So I just want to run Jimmy Dore. This is a 4-minute piece. Jimmy Dore talking about the new polls, talking about where, because he makes me laugh. Jimmy Dore's great. He talks about where Chuck Schumer sits too. If you want any encouragement to know what's going to happen with establishment Dems in 2018 and 2020, this is where it sits. Bernie Sanders at the top of the charts worldwide, right? And establishment Democrats, not so much. Republicans, not so much. People uniting together around the issues with the one dude who's been talking about the issues all his life, Bernie Sanders. So, let's let... Oh, look, I still got... See, now I set up this great switch and then I still have Slacker going, Marcus. That's what happens when you and I talk too much during the pre-show. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm here with the Miserable Liberal and Ron Placone. Look how pretty Miserable Liberal looks.
Hello.
Huh? Listen to that, she looks pretty. So, guess what? Chuck Schumer is the Senate leader. He's very popular. He.
Oh.
How could you not be popular if you think this is a good look?
We got to do that for this whole episode.
It's not that this is a bad look. This is unacceptable. And it's one thing if you're at home doing your taxes and you put on a pair of those halvesy bifocal glasses and okay, I'm at home. When you're standing in front of a fucking camera and thousands of people and you think this is the thing that's going to connect, you need a team of psychiatrists working 24 hours trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with you. That's Chuck Schumer.
So they can't figure it out. He wears his glasses weird and has no concept of shame.
I mean, it's like, why don't you just walk out to the press conference with your dick out? That I would be less embarrassed.
Show a little neck.
I can't believe that people don't want to vote for Democrats. So they did a poll about Chuck Schumer. Fox News poll. Opinion of Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Of all people, 26% of all people have a favorable rating. Of the Democrats, only 39% couldn't crack 50%. So they're our leader, the Democrats' leader. 61% of the Democrats do not favor.
And this is a Fox News poll, too. So chances are, like, the people that identify with Democrats are among the more corporate-y Democrats.
Well, I mean, it's a Fox News poll, meaning that they just call people, and they don't tell, when they do a poll.
Yeah, that's true.
So a poll's a poll. 30% of all Americans have an unfavorable view of Chuck Schumer. Only 16% of Democrats have an unfavorable view. I would be in that 16%, but I don't think I'm a Democrat anymore, so I don't know if that counts. It's like if someone called me and said, "Are you a Democrat?" I would say no. So I don't think I would be in that survey.
They would just hang up.
They would go, "Sorry, bye." They would go, "What do you think about Chuck Schumer anyway?" I go, "Sucks." They would go, "Okay, you're in the..."
You're in the "it's all your fault" category.
But here's my favorite part of this: is if it's the bottom one, the bottom one where it says "never heard of him." 30% of all people never heard of him. 31% of Democrats never heard of him. So 3 out of 10 Democrats wouldn't know who the Senate leader is of the Democrats. And you know why? Because he doesn't lead. He doesn't do anything. What is he led on? Believe me, if he brought people free college or single-payer health care, or he ended a war, or he did something that got us a Supreme Court that was liberal, people would know his name. Everyone would know him. So there you go.
And he could somehow make that look cool.
Yeah. This would be cool.
That would, like, be in.
This would be the in that people would start doing it. It's like, oh, I'm doing the single payer, man. So there's your Democratic leader. Three out of 10 Democrats don't even know who the fuck he is. The resistance.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I wanna. You guys, I see what you guys are saying there. So real quick, I agree. This is a Fox News poll, and polls are rigged, but that hasn't changed. That's right. The thing that we need to think about in this revolution, in this war for information, is that the majority of unawake Americans, ignorant Americans, watch Fox News at this point, and they're going to believe that poll. So that's going to have power. That's going to have weight. We cheer this. It's okay. It's okay for this poll to be rigged. It's okay for this poll to come out of Fox News. Promote this poll. This is one time we're like, yes, thank you, Fox News. All right. It helps unify Americans, because when they see Bernie Sanders' favorable rating mentioned on Fox News and hear them talking about him, not in a malicious way,
and see them in a town hall in West Virginia.
Exactly. Exactly.
And everything made sense to them.
Exactly.
Yeah? I'm not astounded by the ratings of Bernie.
Yeah, exactly. Catherine W., I saw the resistor symbol tattooed on your wrist. I saw that in Facebook. That was awesome. Oh, Stock Post, you were saying that the corporate Dems would say it's rigged. Of course. Well, Chuck, right. Are they even going to know about the poll? But you're right. They'll claim it's rigged. They're not paying attention. Let them not pay attention. Right? Let them not pay attention. The GOP didn't pay attention when the Tea Party came to town. So let's let the establishment not pay attention on the Democratic side as we come to town. Fine by me. Fine by me. What joke fell flat again? All right, whatever. I know it's hard for me when I miss you guys' context. What's going on in there? Moving on. You guys dropped this link. Was it Justin Bryce dropped this link yesterday about Mr. Rogers defending PBS, and it's really cool. I don't remember this. I hadn't seen this. I mean, I don't remember because I was around 1969, but I remember ever seeing it anyway. But we're going to watch it right now. It's about 6-7 minutes, and this is Fred Rogers in 1969 defending PBS, and it's pretty amazing. I had no idea. Here we go.
Proud of Fred Rogers, and I'm proud to present Mr. Rogers to you now.
All right, Rogers, you got the floor.
Senator Pastore, this is a philosophical statement and would take about 10 minutes to read, so I'll not do that. One of the first things that a child learns in a healthy family is trust, and I trust what you have said that you will read this. It's very important to me. I care deeply about children. My first children...
Will it make you happy if you read it?
I'd just like to talk about it, if it's all right.
Sir. Okay.
My first children's program was on WQED 15 years ago, and its budget was $30. Now, with the help of the Sears Roebuck Foundation and National Educational Television, as well as all of the affiliated stations, each station pays to show our program. It's a unique kind of funding in educational television. With this help, now our program has a budget of $6,000. It may sound like quite a difference, but $6,000 pays for less than 2 minutes of cartoons, 2 minutes of animated, what I sometimes say, bombardment. I'm very much concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children. We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him to make drama on the screen. We deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters, and the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations. And we speak to it constructively.
How long a program is it?
It's a half hour every day. Most channels schedule it in the noontime as well as in the evening. WETA here has scheduled it in the late afternoon.
Could we get a copy of this so that we can see it? Maybe not today, but I'd like to see the program.
I'd like very much for you
I'd like to see
it.
the program itself, or any one of them, you see.
We made 100 programs for EEN, the Eastern Educational Network, and then when the money ran out, people in Boston and Pittsburgh and Chicago all came to the fore and said, we've got to have more of this neighborhood expression of care. And this is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health. I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes. And I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the scripts.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that the children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel when you feel so mad you could bite? When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong and nothing you do seems very right? What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, stop, stop anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
Well, that was pretty amazing. I've never seen that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen that. And I, like a lot of you, grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And those words came back to me. Wow. I don't think... those of you who didn't grow up with that, I mean, it was just part of our lives. It was amazing. And every word he said was so good. What amazed me was the fact that that politician, and I'm not sure who he was, he's on some government commission to decide whether to fund PBS or give money to PBS. You know, he listened. He had a soul. He could use critical thinking. He had a soul. He wasn't voting on party line there. He was actually making a decision. We don't have a lot of that in our politicians today. It doesn't really matter what we have to say. They've made a choice, and they've made a choice on behalf of a corporate interest, and that's it. And we have to return to politicians like that who will actually weigh options. I thought that was just amazing. It's just incredible. Beautiful. Wow. Did you have Mr. Rogers in Germany?
No, not what I just saw. I didn't know him, and I'm very, very impressed about what he said and the way he said, his silent voice, and how he transferred his message. It was amazing to see. Wonderful guy. No, I don't see anyone who could be comparable here in Germany. No.
Yeah. Yeah. He. Yeah. There was a lucky time in television in the 70s where we actually got some really good educational programming. That was Sesame Street, you guys were mentioning, and Lecture Company, and Mr. They were important. They're still important. They're extremely important today, and we need to make sure as citizens we fund them, whether Dickhead wants to fund them or not. We'll pick up that slack. Nations are picking up the slack for the stuff he's dropping on a global scale. So we'll do okay there, everybody. We'll figure it out. What are you guys talking about here? Hubby and I still have a Super Nintendo. You guys are going back to old video games now? Nice.
Tetris.
Fred Rogers was a sensitive soul. He absolutely was. He absolutely was. All right, moving on. That was really cool. Make sure I didn't forget anything on my list. Ground game. Moving into ground game. There's lots of stuff going on today, everybody. This is why we talk about getting active in your town, in your city, right now. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. Republicans move to curb Dem powers in the states that they basically control, where the Dems are starting to move in. The frightening numbers in this is what kind of power the GOPs really have. And I'm looking for these. There were numbers in here. Like they really, I think it was 35. I can't find the damn thing. It was 35 states that the GOP controls. 25 of them in a trifecta, meaning all portions of the government. So, like they've got a lock on those 25. We've got to maintain some control and get a lock on the others. You know, the other 51, right? Puerto Rico included. So I mean, that's we got to. It's a battleground, state by state. GOP has made their choice. They're saying we are going after locking down your liberties and taking what we want away from you at the state level. So the federal level is going to say, we want to give controls to the state, and the state level is going to say, thanks, we're going to take all that control away from the people immediately. We appreciate that. So we have to get in there and do our work. We have to become that government so we can get rid of these suits and ties. And we're on it. It's happening. You guys are going back to some old school shit. Yes, Land of the Lost was also outstanding educational television for kids in the 70s. No, not so much. You ever heard of that one, Marcus? Land of the Lost?
No.
Yeah.
Never.
You're not. Go ahead, look it up. They made a terrible movie a few years back.
Okay.
They tried to make a movie and like revive the whole thing. It was just really, really bad. Like Saturday morning daytime television for kids. Land of Lost in the 70s.
Okay.
It was
All right.
It was awful. Glad we could diverge away from looking at the planet and destroying of our democracy to look at Land of the Lost for a moment. It's important. Eco Sutra, there are some in the Democratic Party who want to maintain the status quo. They would rather go down with Titanic, so long as they have first-class seats. Sanders said, yes, it's true.
Exactly.
Fuck them. What are we gonna? That's what I say. Do you know if your state is one of the 3 states that has banned private prisons? Did you know that a state could ban a private prison? Yes, it can. The federal government is going to say, we love private prisons again, even though they just said they were going to stop using private prisons because the statistics showed that private prisons were costing us a shit ton of money and not really benefiting the citizens of the nation all that much. They're just a big corrupt gang of assholes making money off people who really shouldn't be there in the first place. They should be in some other kind of a restorative justice system, which we don't even have close to at all, and it's going to take us a long time to get there. But private prisons, your state has the power to ban the federal government from installing a private prison system in your state. There are only 3 states that do this, apparently, right now. And they are, there's a map. Where'd it go? By the way, the Justice Department said they were going to phase out for-profit prisons, but the customers are Justice Departments, ICE and CBP. All right? So this is what it says. The blue is authorizing statute. Black, no specific statute. Red is banned. And we got to back out on the map here. That's the problem. There's our USA. So there's the 3 states right there. Iowa, Illinois, and New York have banned private prisons. Who knew? Iowa. I mean, really? That's good old conservative town. That's pig squealer area. They banned private prisons. That's pretty cool. Illinois, New York. Look at Oregon up here. You can click on your state on these links, and it'll tell you what's going on. So Oregon authorizing statute, not available. Description, there are no statutes specifically addressing private prisons. Link to the code, what's going on. Nevada, what has Nevada got going on? They've authorized the use of private prisons, right? So you can fight that. This is a nice little chart that can just show you what you got going on in each state. Illinois, they've banned. So the point being, other than the map, most of us have states that haven't banned it. The point being is we could push our representatives, our public servants, to write legislation that bans private prisons. We can do what Colorado has done. Colorado went from, I mean, you got to think about this. In a state, you don't think about crime recidivism just in the state of Colorado, but restorative justice is now law. They passed a law saying that the state of Colorado is going to reform its justice system to function under a restorative justice guideline. That is huge. Now, they're not doing so well at the implementation of it, but, you know, that's government trying to function, and that's corrupt government trying to get its dirty fingers into something that really requires a grassroots community effort, right? So we've got, you know, it's coming along, right? But the fact that they were able to make it law in 2014 and said, we will be moving our justice system into a restorative justice system, means that Colorado was in a good place to ban the use of private prisons, because private prison does not follow the guidelines of a restorative justice system at all. So that's a place where we can make a lot, you know, we can change how we handle justice in our states, and by doing that, we can really affect the lives of a lot of people. And that's not a partisan issue, right? Just wanted to throw that there. California should be getting on that soon. Absolutely. Absolutely. California should be getting on becoming their own country soon. I'm surprised they haven't pushed that through. Getting very progressive out there in California. Private prison, exactly, Metalhead. Private prisons are totally, they're a labor camp. It's horrific. It's horrific. Markus, your prison system out there, it's not, you don't have a, well, first of all, you guys probably don't have a lot of people in prison, really. Not like us. We got like 3 million people in prison. You know?
I'm sorry. I still can understand to see so much blue states there. You know.
I know. I know. You're looking at the map, going, really?
This is what is really shocking. You know.
It is.
And here in Germany, the situation is not comparable. We have a complete another justice system than in the USA, and we don't have, of course, not so many people in jail. And yes, and I think our system is the better system, but it is not comparable, in my opinion, because we have much less guns. We don't own guns here normally, and this is a difference.
Yeah.
And yes, but all in all, I'm happy that we are not allowed to have any guns here, and that our justice system is quite alright, in my opinion.
You don't feel like your government's going to come, I don't know, enslave you because they have guns and you don't have guns? You don't feel like you need guns to keep the government from taking your guns?
Our government? No. They are afraid of us. They are afraid of the voters.
Did you hear that, everybody? Do you know why Germany gets qualified as a standard democracy and we're a flawed democracy? That right there. Markus is confident that his government is afraid of the people.
But I'm not saying this is only good, you know, because if they are so depending on the voters' opinion, this doesn't bring us in many cases not really forward, you know, because they are only aiming from one election to the other election.
That's true. That's true. There are better forms of government to be had. You guys will reach that before we do, assuming we don't blow up the earth first. We're with North Korea, man. Rexon says, you know, I don't know what the deal is. They got to find a reason. They're gonna blow up. Anyway, interesting perspective over there. I'd love to know what the number of people in prison in Germany are and what your prison facilities are like. That's, you know,
I'll find out.
That'd be great. Yeah, my guess is your prison facilities are not overpacked, overpopulated, and separated by racial tension. Yeah. Anyway, what are you guys talking about? When your representatives fear you rather than you fearing them, you have a functional democracy. Exactly, Brom. Exactly. It may not be perfect. It'll never be perfect because it's run by people. Let's just make that clear. Nobody will ever have a perfect democracy because people are flawed, right? But that's part of the goal, is to work towards that perfection. Maybe we invent an AI that handles it for us down the road. I don't know. That would be nice. Why are we talking about pig farms? And we should go starting our own pig. Who's talking about pigs? I mean, they're good. You're right. They're good. In the Middle Ages, they used pigs to turn the soil, but you'd have to have a plot of land good enough to do that. Is that what you guys are going on? I'm just talking about pigs? I don't know. The Spencer family's farms are subsidized by the federal government. Is it because they're pig farms? Anyway, I don't know where you're going with this stuff on the pigs. I need to watch Where to Invade Next. We discuss. All right. I do need to watch that movie. I haven't had a chance. You're right. I do need a chance. I need to. All right, moving on. What do you want to say, Marcus? What's going on?
I want to come back to Brett. What Brett says about Where to Invade Next. I don't know if it's possible, but maybe we can not stream the movie in a show, but we can start at the same time to watch it, and we'll have parallel a show around it and discuss it in chat. Maybe it is working. I don't know.
I've always wanted to do something like that. The way I could do that and get away with it is actually to broadcast directly to a web page and embed the live stream on a web page, run a YouTube live event where all I'm showing on the screen is Twitter or whatever, and have the comments chat going on, right? I could do that if we were broadcasting to a web page. I just don't have a web page to broadcast to. I don't have any entities anymore. Yeah, I'd love to do something like that with a lot of these. I've actually tried reaching out to Michael Moore and saying, let us do a web, let's push it out. Let's do a web broadcast. Let's have you on. Let's talk about the film. But,
Cool.
The movie industry has no interest in pushing their shit through the internet in that way, or at least not working with me on it. I'd love to do more of that kind of stuff. I would love to do these kind of Oliver Stone's history of the United States, and just kind of have them on to be like a live director's cut, director's discussion. I think it would be fantastic. It's a good idea. Melissa, I can't believe this idiot is our president. I know. What did he do? What did he do now? We're gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna listen. This is a podcast here. It's Democracy Now. It's Amy Goodman, and I forget the other guy's name. Dennis Moynihan. And we're gonna listen to them talk about famine. And right now, while 45 wants to bring an additional $54 billion into the budget for military alone, we have 20 million people starving, and that's just in one place. I want to listen to Amy Goodman talk about this. We'll push that over. Grab a cup of tea. Sit back.
20 million people need food, not bombs. I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! With Dennis Moynihan in our weekly Breaking the Sound Barrier podcast. The world is facing the most serious humanitarian catastrophe since the end of World War II. 20 million people are at risk of starving to death in Yemen, Somalia, Nigeria, and South Sudan. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is responding by slamming the door on refugees and cutting aid funding while proposing a massive expansion of the U.S. military.
Millions of people are barely surviving in the space between malnutrition and death, vulnerable diseases and outbreaks, forced to kill their animals for food and eat the grain they saved for next year's seeds.
That's Antonio Guterres, the new United Nations Secretary General.
These four crises are very different, but they have one thing in common. They are all preventable. They all stem from conflict, which we must do much more to prevent and resolve.
While the United Nations scrambles to raise the $5.6 billion needed to avert the worst impacts of these crises, the Trump administration is slashing funding to the U.S. State Department and, according to a draft executive order obtained by the New York Times, to the United Nations as well. The order is drafted, but not yet officially signed or released, calls for at least a 40% overall decrease of U.S. voluntary contributions to UN programs like the World Food Program, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, and UNICEF. Former George W. Bush State Department official Stuart Patrick, now at the Council on Foreign Relations, wrote, "This is frankly a juvenile attitude unbecoming of the world's only superpower," unquote. While the attitude may be juvenile, its impact on actual juveniles is deadly. 7 million people in Yemen are in danger of starvation. 2.2 million of them are children. Close to 500,000 of those children are severely and acutely malnourished, which means they have already suffered potentially lifelong developmental damage due to starvation. This is Joel Charney, director of the Norwegian Refugee Council USA, speaking on the Democracy Now! NewsHour.
If the war continues, people will die from famine. I don't think there's any question about that. We just have to find a way for the war to end.
That would start with stopping the arming of Saudi Arabia, which is mercilessly bombing Yemen. Instead, on Tuesday, President Trump met at the White House with Saudi Arabia's Deputy Crown Prince and Minister of Defense Mohammed bin Salman, where they reportedly discussed resuming sales of precision-guided munitions to the Saudi dictatorship. Amnesty International urged Trump to block new arms sales, writing, "Arming the Saudi Arabia and Bahrain governments risks complicity with war crimes, and doing so while simultaneously banning travel to the U.S. from Yemen would be even more unconscionable," unquote. The war in Yemen is largely seen as a proxy conflict between Saudi Arabia and Iran, with the United States under Obama and now intensified under Trump arming the Saudis and logistically supporting their bombardment of Yemen.
It needs to be stressed that this is not something that, started on January 20th.
Again, aid official Joel Charney referring to Trump's inauguration.
This is something that the U.S. has been driving for some time.
In his 2 terms, President Obama sold a record-breaking $115 billion in arms to Saudi Arabia, suspending sales only after a Saudi jet attacked a Yemeni funeral with back-to-back bombings, killing 140 people and wounding 500. Millions more face famine and a painful death by starvation in Somalia, South Sudan, and Nigeria. In South Sudan, despite oil revenue and fertile cropland, Charney says,
unresolved political conflicts within the South Sudanese ruling class that date all the way back to the 90s, that were covered up during the independence struggle but have since emerged,
leading to famine. In northeastern Nigeria, armed conflict between the group Boko Haram and the government make delivering humanitarian aid extremely dangerous. Somalia, where famine threatens populations that are actually reachable by the weak central government and aid agencies, Charney struck a more optimistic note.
If we're able to mobilize food and cash quickly, we can overcome the situation of Somalia if we get moving.
Famine in these 4 countries is avoidable. President Trump should fully fund food shipments, not arms shipments, and spearhead much-needed diplomacy to avoid the immense catastrophe of 20 million horrific deaths by starvation. This is what would make America great. I'm Amy Goodman with Dennis Moynihan.
Couldn't agree with Amy more. We have a psychotic piece of shit who is really looking at mass genocide and doesn't really care. We have a GOP that doesn't care either, and they're okay with destroying a good portion of the poor and the elderly in the United States. And the only thing we can do is rise and fight against it by whatever means we have. Becoming our government, protesting. It's frightening times. Frightening times. But it still is the end of the corporate age. The corporations will no longer be able to continue like this, because if there is a collapse of consumer society, then corporations will fall too. I think they've kind of forgotten that. And if society, especially in America, falls that far, my guess is there'll be a Washington, D.C. on fire. If we don't come out of this having saved our government and become our government in a peaceful way, yeah. Pitchforks will come out. I'm positive though. At this point, I'm maybe not positive. I'm hopeful that we will defeat 45 and team based on what I see in ground game already and what's going on in this country. We are awake and we are pissed. Here's The Guardian. Everybody loves Bernie Sanders except it seems the Democratic Party, which is absolutely true because we keep forgetting he's not a registered Democrat. He's leading the Democratic Party, really. You just heard Jimmy Dore talk about how worthless Chuck Schumer is. He looks like a fucking librarian. No offense to librarians. That's a whole insult. My apologies. Chuck Schumer just looks like an idiot. Bernie Sanders is the most respected politician in the nation. Everybody loves him. The Democratic Party, the establishment elite, no, not so much. But the numbers, right? The numbers here, quoting the Fox News polls, they don't lie. Really, we know this. We know this. Right? And just I saw an article earlier today that said that Keith Ellison was still touting or talking about Hillary in a good way. And I think that's where that purity test from the Truth Against the Machine comes in, is that if you don't acknowledge the damage that the DNC has done to the Democratic Party with the WikiLeaks releases, acknowledging the collusion, the bullshit that happened between the Hillary campaign, who Hillary Clinton is, the piece of shit that she is, the warmonger that she is. When they talked about, we just listened to that thing talking about Obama, or Amy Goodman, Obama selling 150, billion, I don't even know what it was, a shit ton of fucking weapons to Yemen, Saudi Arabia, whichever side it was, that country. You know who sold those? That's Secretary of State's job. So half of those will fall under Hillary Clinton's work. They give Obama the credit, but it's the Secretary of State that does the weapons sales, really. Obama just signs off on the deal. Right? It's like, good job. You get a 10% commission, Hillary. You know, that's basically what it was. She sold those weapons. She sold the fracking, right? While he's shooting hoops and smiling, she's out there fracking the earth and selling weapons everywhere. And then she comes home and talks about how she's a sensitive woman, cares about everybody. Bullshit. Warmongering, bitch. So that litmus test for Democrats in the future, for progressives in our party, if you in any way think that there's anything valuable in the Clinton family that needs to be brought to the Democratic Party, then you are not a viable candidate, because there's absolutely nothing about the Clinton family that we need in our Democratic Party. Nothing. None of it. All right? I please hope that there's nobody in this. Yes, Marcus. Yes.
There's another interesting point, in my opinion, in which what Bernie is doing right now with his town halls and stuff, and he is sticking to the issues, to the real issues. This can be considered to be the thorn in the side of the DNC establishment, because they want desperately address only the windmills about the Russian hacks and uninteresting stuff. They want to go on with their bullshit, you know. And I think this is so important to have Bernie working for the Democratic Party, being an independent politician, and just to show everyone how bad the situation in the top ranks of the Democratic Party really is, and to unite them.
Yes.
In his efforts to fight those people at the top, you know. And therefore he needs a ground game again. And I love it, and he knows exactly what's going on, that they hate him at the bottom of the party. And he knows this, and I'm pretty sure he enjoys this up to a certain point.
Oh, you know this is... that's such a good point, Marcus. Everybody think back to Bernie during the delegate bullshit that went down in Philadelphia, right? And all that stuff. Think about this. Bernie is so smart. He probably was seeing this. He's like, Trump's going to get president. Shit's going to go down really fast and really bad. I'm going to keep sitting here. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to say my stuff. Don't let anybody know. Don't just The whole time it's just like everybody's gonna get mad. They're gonna call me this and that. They're gonna think I'm, dropping. He's like, I just gotta stay. He like that. You could see when he was during the thing, the whole DNC convention, that his head was gonna explode. Right? Just like he looked like he wanted to explode with all the knowledge that the man had. He's like, just wait. I've been waiting 30 fucking years. You can wait too. Just fucking wait. That's Bernie. We don't even have to wait 2. We're not even into month 2, and 45 has already united the country against him and helped us take over more states at grassroots than ever before in America. And Bernie's like, now, y'all are listening, aren't you? Everybody's hearing my message about the issues. Nobody's giving a fuck about the word Democratic Socialist. Nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. We're too busy talking about the fascist in the Oval Office. We've moved all the way to fascists and some Democratic Socialists looking pretty okay. If you think about it, that's beautiful.
Hillary. And he's humiliating. He's literally humiliating the DNC talk with what he's doing.
Yes.
And this is what I like. This is what I really like.
Yes, absolutely. He is a smart. Bernie is a smart motherfucker. Let's listen to Bernie. I think this is him talking about his game plan going around. It's a video that was in this Guardian article. Let's listen to this.
I think what Trumpism is about is a move toward a more authoritarian type government in the United States, doing away with our historical separation of powers and giving more and more power to the guy in the White House.
We'll stand up, then we win. Right? Yep. When millions of people stand up and take jobs in their government, we win. As far as the audio, I don't know what the deal was. The audio was so low on that. What's up?
And listen, he said to join the political process. He didn't say join the Democratic Party.
Yes.
He knows exactly what's going on.
There you go. Good point. Join the political... Yeah, exactly. That's good catch. Good catch. He doesn't care if you're in the Democratic Party. He just wants you part of the process. Get in there. Right? Makes sense to me. Stop worrying about the parties. Just get to work. Never boring. He's not. Never boring. That was so nice to hear. All right, moving on. What do we got going on? Climate. We already did climate. What time is it? 11:32. Good. Moving right along. Sad. Remember the coral reefs that got devastated by the warming temperatures? That hasn't changed. They're worse. Of course, they're worse because things have gotten. I mean, they're still warm, right? I mean, right now we just had that massive blizzard, freeze, shitstorm hit the northeast and east and south, and it's freezing down to Florida. Everybody's back to big old warm temperatures, average or above average warmth. Just boing boing. That's totally fucking up everything. And the oceans, as we know, like we learned the other day, Iowan farmers really aren't using cover crops. They're just using pesticides and fertilizer. So that's all running off into the ocean, and that's helping to help warm the oceans. Arctic sea ice extent is the lowest it's ever fucking been. Probably not going to have any Arctic ice this summer. It's going to just all be gone. That's having a massive effect. We've got all these recycling issues that are happening and that are cascade effects that are making our water warmer and warmer. And what is that doing? It's raising the acidity level of our ocean, and it's killing coral. And it's still killing coral. And what this article really says is it's urgent. That coral reefs are going to die. When the coral reefs all die or all get to the point where they're not working anymore, it will fuck the ocean system. Not like it isn't already fucked. But the point that this makes is that the minimal efforts that countries make right now to supposedly protect coral reefs do jack shit. Right? They're trying to protect the Great Barrier Reef. At the same time, they've got oil tankers, shipyard tankers moving through the area. How the fuck is that protecting that? There shouldn't be anybody around that whole area, but profit first. And that's the Australian government right there. Go ahead, bring the tankers in, but, we're protecting this shit, mate. Bullshit. we have to pass legislation. The only way we do that is working at the federal level. The only way we do that is by starting at the bottom. We got a long way to go. My guess is we won't have coral reefs here soon. We're not going to do anything at the federal level to stop. We just actually, with Trump's initiatives, we will increase the rate at which our Earth warms, and we will increase the rate at which coral dies. But yeah, so that's we're losing soil too. Yes, we are. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that it's been long enough that I've been reporting on the coral reef, the Great Barrier Reef warming. I mean, it's been a year. We're headed for another year, right? Things are worse this year than they were the year before, and the year before that. It's a growing trend, and it's not linear. It's not linear. It's very scary. It's scary to live on a dying planet. Even in a place, and like I'm in a place where I'm naive enough to think that I'm safe. You know, I'm here in rural Oregon, and according to climate scientists, which I do put a lot of faith in climate scientists, my neck of the woods is not going to be affected as much as most others, really. I'm a lucky son of a bitch. Maybe. But with the way climate keeps changing, with the way we keep discovering how one system influences another system, who knows? In 2 years, the whole weather pattern that's happening right now could shift, and we could get fucked. Who knows? That's really where we sit. We have undone hundreds of thousands of years of climate stability baked into this planet. We've undone it. It's frightening. It's really frightening. You know, it's like, oh shit. You know, we worry about nuclear reactors, and I always thought that was like, because I grew up in the 80s with the nuclear Cold War and worried about nuclear bombs, and that used to be the most frightening thing I could imagine. Imagine one of those going off. Imagine getting radiated by a imagine dying that way. Imagine getting hit with a massive blast of air, hot flames, and the Terminator scene. Horrible, horrible thoughts to imagine as a kid. And now I'm like, no. What's worse? Imagine being in a place where there's no water, there's no food, where it's 140 degrees in the shade. Imagine being somewhere where the water is poisoned because it's been fracked. Imagine being on a coast where any moment there could be a massive tsunami. Imagine living on a sick, dying planet and having nowhere to go. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. Yeah, and Fukushima. It's not, I can't even list all of the things going on with the planet. I can't even keep it in my head. There's so many things that are destabilizing at the moment. Can't keep track. This is a bit of good news. Oil company pulls out of uncontacted tribes' land under pressure from Survival, which I think is an organization. Yeah, you got to back up and go, what? Wait a minute. What does this mean? Uncontacted tribes, oil companies? Yeah. So this is a Canadian oil company. And if you thought oil companies were assholes before, here's just something to add to the list. And maybe most of you knew that they did this. Apparently, they've purchased the rights to explore for places to drill within the Amazon. I don't know when they got those rights or how long they've had them. American companies have been down there deforesting the Amazon. Amazon, by the way, having forest fires these days, that hasn't happened. Okay, when you got forest fires in the Amazon rainforest, then there's another one of those things. Just add that to the list. So this Canadian company, first of all, they get to cruise the Amazon looking for places to fuck up. That is unbelievable. That they would even want to go into the Amazon looking for places to fuck up is unbelievable. It's unconscionable. It's immoral. It's horrific. That they would go there and have the right to fuck up cultures there are cultures that have not had contact with the rest of the world still. Although these are diminishing quickly because I can't imagine that their air and their water and their food are still tasting the same. But this company said we go in, and if we find an uncontacted tribe and we want to drill where they are, fuck them. Granted, it's no different than what we did coming to America. I get it. Hey, look, a new place. Nice to meet you. Fuck you. That's basically what we did. So this
Bye. Fuck you.
Right. Have some blankets and booze. So this is, I guess, the good news here is that this company has backed off because environmental groups and other groups. I think this group Survival is a group of. This is a guy. The guy that in the picture here is Solomon Dunu, a Matses man. That must be a tribe or culture. Who survived the trauma of first contact. Think about that. Who survived the trauma of first contact. You're living your life, you're having a great time, you're in the middle of the jungle, you don't know dick about anybody that's going on, and all of a sudden here come these scary motherfuckers. I mean, we're such assholes. We're just... So anyway, this group has been fighting for years. And finally got this Canadian bunch of oil dicks to say, okay, we'll stop exploring areas where we know there are cultures that we shouldn't be fucking with in the first place. How nice of you. Fucking assholes. Positive note, Cheerios handed out 1.5 billion wildflower seeds. That's awesome. I don't know if they are GMO wildflower seeds, which I'm sure exist at this point, but at least they did the initiative. And I realize that Cheerios is a Monsanto thing, and I get it. But the fact that they did this, bring back the bees. I don't know even when they started this, but their initial goal was you did something and you filled in a thing and they sent you seeds. And their original goal was 100 million seeds. Apparently they had quite a response, which I think is badass. So, yay for Cheerios anyway. Marcus?
It doesn't... In my opinion, it doesn't really matter. It is most important that the bees are coming back. And whoever does it.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I really would. It's just put forth the effort. The bees, when 347 species of bee are about ready to be extinct, whatever we can do. Although on that note, and I don't know who was talking to me about it on, I don't know, they was talking about the Josh Fox climate thing, and somebody posted in there, you watched the program, can't remember your name, but you were talking about how there's a group out there called Save Our Sound, and I don't have all the information, but it's a sound out there, I think, on the East Coast. They're looking at putting a wind farm in there, and that sounds good, and it looks good. But when you dig a little deeper, they're putting wind farms, they're using technology there that's not the best thing for that area. There's cultural significance to the area. There's like ecological significance to the area. They could be doing things in a better way with different renewable technologies, but they're not. And not only that, but it brings in a bunch of fossil fuels that sits on a barge in order to keep something going and things run. It looks like a bad deal. This is one of the things where it's like, hi, we're a corporation coming in to do renewable energy, but really we're trying to fuck you. Just looks green. So that's a whole new level. And things always go to that level, but we got to be careful with the renewable projects that we have going on and making sure they're not causing more environmental damage than they're trying to solve in the first place. And it's apparently one place. So I retract my statement on the sound, because at first I was like, what's your problem? It's wind turbines. In this instance with Cheerios, I feel that it's worth it. Fine. Cheerios, whatever, Monsanto, bees. Each one of us is going to have to weigh those decisions and weigh it on our souls. Right.
Yeah.
Honeybees were imported to the USA by European settlers. Yes. What did you guys say? What are you guys saying? Cheerios. Yes. They should spend millions to bring back the bees. Yeah, they did have a hand in killing them. They should spend millions. I agree. Maybe they know this. I don't know. Maybe they know this. Ah, weird sciencey shit. Really weird sciencey shit. I'm not even sure I can explain this sciencey shit. I'm just going to give you the absolute gist of this. Electrons have been caught disappearing and reappearing between atomic layers. And I don't even have the math skills to explain to you what that means, other than to scroll down to the bottom and read this. Further research is always needed to probe these new observed quantum phenomena, but if verified, this is a good sign that van der Waals materials will be incredibly useful for electronics, and it's something that could be used to develop even more types of materials. This is more material science stuff. We've recently come up with or discovered a new state of matter. We recently discovered we can do something completely different with bismuth than we ever thought we could, and other metals. We're every day. It seems like there's another breakthrough in the world of science, which 45 is working fast to destroy. So, for God's sakes, I just say this to say, get involved in your community, take over your government now, because the world we could have is amazeballs. The world we could be living in, the places we could be seeing, the hunger we could alleviate, we could be done with all that bullshit, moving on, having a great time. We just need to take over the superpower that is now controlled by an orange 5-year-old. We've just got to take it back. And we can move the rest of this world. If America moves in that direction, the rest of the world is already on that speed, and we will all go there fast. We are the one fucking boat anchor dragging this whole earth down, really. It's kind of embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. But most other superpowers have already had their shit time. They've already rock bottomed. England rock bottomed. Germany rock bottomed. France rock bottomed. Right. It's time for America. We've bottomed. Let's get back up. All right? I think we bottomed. We don't want to go any lower. Jesus Christ, it's not going any lower. I know. I like amazeballs simply because it makes me think of... thank you, Froze. It makes me think of... what's his name? Darth Vader saying amazeballs in that commercial, the Sprint commercial. You are now friends with... Yeah, you may know the Sprint commercial. Malcolm McDowell and James Earl Jones. If you haven't seen that, Google it. That's a good laugh. It's crack you up. We are almost done. We're going to end on time. We may even end early. Markus picked the end song today. And I actually have a story that goes along with it. But we're not there just yet. We have a very cool weed moment with Patrick Stewart. All right? This is very important. Patrick Stewart announced the other day that he smokes weed every day. Apparently for arthritis. Whatever, but you know, let's listen to the story. I thought this was cool. Picard says, "Engage on the cannabis."
Some people use it for pleasure, some people use it to the extreme, but Sir Patrick Stewart uses it for medical purposes. The 76-year-old actor is forced to use ointment, spray and edible marijuana medicine every single day in order to combat the crippling symptoms of his arthritis. The talented star thinks his battle with the condition is down to his genetics, as his mother also suffered terribly with badly distorted and painful hands. Patrick was advised to use the drug by a doctor he saw in Los Angeles 2 years ago, and is now backing a research initiative by Oxford University, which is seeking to uncover the benefits of cannabis-based medicines.
Badass. Yeah.
I'm only afraid he would lose his driving license for the Enterprise.
You know that in the Star Trek future, they're all smoking a bowl. It's absolutely, if they got Romulan ale, they got good weed on the Enterprise. They're okay with it.
They know the best planet.
Bernice Panders, you got to drop me that link again. I actually looked for that link today. I looked for that Reason Rally thing. That I know exactly what you're talking about. You got to You got to drop me that link. Not in here. I need it in Slack. I need somewhere I'm going to find it, or email it to me at info@Bernie2016TV. Put it there. I actually wanted to run that. Maybe I'll run it for prior to the rally today or something. I don't know. But yeah, I want to run that. I absolutely want to run that. Yes, Picard was a serious mofo. Joni Ernst Town Hall. That's coming up. 2:30 today. 2:30 Pacific. All right? 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. Markus will be asleep. We'll be listening to Joni Ernst, hopefully getting her ass handed to her. Or Joni Ernst saying, okay, I hear you. Wouldn't that be great? Right? wouldn't that be? Eco Suture. Are you seriously dissing Picard? You're dissing the script of an episode because of the way he treated the Bajoran spy? Really? I've just not even gonna go there. Not even. I understand though. I take my Star Trek very seriously too. And yes, Scott Galindez will be covering it. It's coming via LiveView Solo. Again, thank you, Claudia, for not coming down on me and letting us still use the thing. And join us, please. Share the event. Let's get a big audience for this. We'll be tracking a hashtag. I'm sure they'll be running some hashtag for it. We'll pick it up. And yeah. Yes, she is going to a town. Apparently Joni will be at this town hall. All right. If not, it should be even more fun. You know, think about that. If she doesn't show up, whatever we get, it's going to be worth watching. So please join us. Thank you, guys. You're all awesome. I did want to say this. We are pushing the Patreon account to Uphill Media. So it's patreon.com/Uphill Media. That's a new account. That account is going to help support Ash and myself. And I'm not saying you have to ditch the other one or whatnot, but I need to help. I want to really help take care of Ash. Anybody that can, anybody that comes by, listens to this, if you can help us, that would be great. We all have to help all independent media networks because that's what it takes, right? Whoever they are, whatever they are, whoever you believe in, if you can spare $2, $1, $4, whatever it happens to be, whether it's once or every month, we need to support independent media because mainstream media is not doing its job. So please do that. Markus, tell us why you picked what you picked, and what's going on with the song, man.
Yeah, for today's show, I picked a live song, and it is performed by Björk. You you maybe know her. She's a great singer, and she's a unique musician, and she's from Iceland, and a wonderful person. And I cannot speak more about Björk because she is so unique and wonderful, and I chose Army of Me, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. And John has a nice story to tell you about Björk.
I do.
Right, John?
I do. Although right now it looks like it's saying that our stream is down, but I can't.
No, perfect streaming it's saying here.
All right, good. My YouTube interface says we're down, so I hope it does. It's shut. Yeah, see, somebody says no, it's shut down. I don't know what the hell happened here, Bjork no like. Look at the responses. Love, hate, love it. I hope this didn't kill. It looks like it's killed on my interface here, so I can't tell. And I totally lost my place because of what I'm seeing right there. The Bjork story. Just really quick, bizarre. I used to work for Sam Ash Music, and I worked on the Strip in Los Angeles. And I worked at the Hollywood store, essentially, which was the store literally almost across the street from the big Guitar Center. And we were the stores that the musicians, the stars, would often come into. And there was a lot of times where it was a great photo op where the paparazzi would come by. Within the same couple days, I had two people show up at our store looking for keyboards. One of them was Bjork. The other was Britney Spears. And the difference between the two was quite humorous. Bjork showed up in one of her outfits. The moment I saw this that Markus picked for it and I started playing, I'm like, yes, that's exactly the kind of shit she was wearing. This crazy ass, sparkle bag, space suit outfit. Because I really don't know anything about Bjork or her music. All I know is that she showed up.
John, no stream. No stream.
Wait, so it did stop.
Tells us
it did stop?
No stream. Yes.
Are we back? We should be back. It should kick in here in a second. I'm just waiting for it to tell me that the stream is actually back. Everybody? Anybody? It's still not showing it here. Did they kill my ability to stream on this channel?
Stream is back. Metal hat.
All right. Hi, everybody. It still doesn't say we're back on my screen.
Oh, Markus.
Are we back, guys? Maybe I'll just kill it. I don't know what happened here.
Well, the stream went off.
The stream never went off.
Never went off? What? Stream is down.
Oh, jeez. It's a good thing this isn't, you know, I'm not trying to like make this an Emmy Award winning. It's still down?
Yeah.
I can see, I can, Invictus says I can see, hear you. What is going on here?
Paula says they took, maybe she referred to PRTV.
Well, all right. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're up or not. I'm not even going to play the song, though, guys, because I can't tell that we're up.
Yeah.
It's back for you guys.
Fine for me. It's back for me? Ah, okay.
All right. No, I'm seeing that it's been interrupted.
For some it's not working, not for all. It seems.
I have no indication of
no.
Yeah, black screen. It's Look, half of you seem to have it down, half of you seem to have it up. I'm just gonna go. This sucks. We'll play Bjork at the end of the live broadcast tonight if for some reason we, you know, hopefully we won't have these problems. Yeah, for here it's actually no. For here on my live streams software it says it's good, and on the YouTube it says I'm down. All right. Sorry about that, guys. See you a little later on for the live stream. Bye.